Welcome to the 52 Love Podcast, your show for 52 lessons in 52 weeks. Before we dive in, remember you can find the audio version of this episode, along with the rest of the series, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and Radio Public. And now, here's your host, Ms. Tonya Todd.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 52 Love Podcast. I'm your host, Tonya Todd. 52 Love began as a blog series last year, 52 Love Lessons in 52 Weeks. This year, we are exploring each of those tips with a new guest each week. This week's tip is to make New Year's resolutions with your partner, and here to talk about it is the amazing Naima. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Oh, well, I just want to go with like the amazing Naima. I just want to sit in that.
Yeah, do it. You've earned it.
Well, my name is Naima Simone, and I am a romance author. I write contemporary romance with, I call it humor, heart, and heat, and been published since 2009, and full-time author, mother, and wife. I guess I better add in the wife.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can't forget the wife, but yeah,
Not on this
me.
show.
Yeah, right. That's kind of why I'm here. So yeah, that's me.
Humor, heart, and heat. I love that.
Yes.
Not just the alliteration, but those are elements that you want in a good book, and I can vouch for all of it, having read your work.
Thank you. It's what I look for in my romance books that I love to read. So it's what I love to write as well.
How did you get started on your romance journey?
Okay, see, people do not believe me when I tell them this. And we met in Las Vegas, like when I came down for the book festival. And so you heard this story, but it started as.
And your husband actually helped me to locate you because you were both wearing masks, and he has that amazing Mordor mask. Like, I know that mask.
Okay, now, just for the record, and I told him, now listen, when people give you compliments on that mask, I'm gonna need you to tell them that's my mask, and I'll let you borrow it.
You want your Lord of the Rings cred, huh?
I am the Lord of the Rings fanatic in this family. And he's like, okay. And then every time somebody gives him a compliment, he's like, thanks. And I'm like, you're such a traitor.
One mask to rule them all.
I know. So, but yeah, you did. He helped us find each other.
Yes.
And but yeah, you heard me already tell this story. And I guess now what I did will be considered fan fiction, because I knew that nobody was going to write my story with Ralph Tresvant from New Edition. And so if our grand love story was going to be written, I had to write it. And so in the 7th grade, I literally put pen to paper, and 2 notebooks later, our love story was written.
I just need to pause this episode 1 second and say, B.D. Watkins, are you listening? Ralph Tresvant, please continue.
I did. Almost killed him off at the end, but we had a little Sleeping Beauty moment where my kiss woke him up in the ICU.
Oh,
but
I like that. I really like that.
Right? It was totally dark for a 12-year-old, but it was romantic. I blame it on all the fairy tales, but
That's all right.
it was romantic. And from there, it just changed. It was later it was Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block. But that started my path of writing romance.
So you went through the boy bands.
I did. And listen, I did not do. Who was the group that? It's hard for me to remember their name that Justin Timberlake was in.
I think that one was NSYNC, right?
I didn't do NSYNC because I thought that they were just copying New Kids on the Block, but I did get on the Backstreet Boys bandwagon. I was a total Kevin fan. Still, New Kids on the Block and New Edition, they started my road to publishing, because they were my first romance books I ever wrote. They were the heroes in them.
So I have to know, did you ever write any books with boy bands?
No, but
I think you need to do that.
But the first book I ever sold was actually one of the, like, I call it renovations because it was like an overhaul of the original story I wrote with Donnie Wahlberg.
I understand.
Yeah, but I know I want to write a book with like the boy band because that's like my childhood, and that would be a
Right.
total fantasy for me. That book would be totally for me, and I would just let everybody else enjoy it. But it would totally be for me.
Yeah. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I know I should do it. I should totally do it. And then I'm gonna go through my closet and find all the old, oh, they're so horrible, books I wrote and try to get ideas from them. But
Right.
God, they're
Like
so
I was onto
bad.
something here. The prose is
Yeah,
terrible, but
it's
it's a
horrible.
good
It's
concept,
terrible.
right?
But yeah, like, oh, it's so bad. It was bad.
That just goes to show you how far you've come,
Oh,
you know?
like Narnia far.
I am loving all of these references. We're learning so much about you. You're kind of a nerdy girl, aren't you?
I am. I wear it proudly. I'm a total geek. And
Black girl nerds
yeah,
for the win, okay?
that's right. That's right.
You're on the right show for that too. So let's talk about this week's tip, and then I would love to go back into your career because I feel like we could just keep talking and never actually cover the New Year's resolutions. And that's not a good sign, right?
Well, for you, maybe. For me, I might be revealing a little too much, but sure.
So tell me how it went, the two of you making New Year's resolutions together. How did you introduce the topic and how did it go?
Well, I introduced it because I told him, like, listen, I'm doing this podcast, and we're talking about resolutions, and we have to do this task as a couple. Like, you're down. He's always down for couple things. Because
Oh,
believe it or not, I write romance, but he is totally the romantic in our relationship. I
well,
am
sounds
not a
like he's the
romantic
right
at
guy for
all.
you.
Yeah, because I'm not a romantic. Like, date night. My idea of date night is, let's like go order in. I don't want to go to the restaurant and sit down. Let's like DoorDash it, get it delivered, pop in the movie. Like, I don't need candlelight and all that. Like, done deal.
There's nothing
Married it.
wrong with that. That sounds
He
like an amazing
wants,
night.
right? He wants to wine and dine, go to the restaurant, have the candles, whatever. I'm kind of like Pretty Woman. You bought it.
You bought it.
I don't need all that.
We're going to need a key for all of these references.
It's true. Like, when my pastor first found out that I wrote romance, he was so shocked because we used to go on these couple retreats all the time. And I was the one that when we had to do the exercises at the end of the day, I was the one that I would fall asleep because I
Oh
would be like, yeah,
no.
because I mean, like, it would be exercises like, for 5 minutes you have to look into your partner's eyes, and like after one, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this because this is straight uncomfortable. I'm going to bed.
You know, that's one of our tips on the series is to look into
I
it's for
believe
4
it.
minutes, but
I'm like, "Ew, I'm done. Like, this is awkward. And he's telling me with his eyes how beautiful I am, and I'm like, I want a cheeseburger.
So what you're saying is he brought out the hunger in you.
Exactly. Can I use that?
Yes.
I'm totally gonna steal that.
Hey, you already gave me permission to accidentally steal your stuff, so
Thank you. Thank you.
It is yours.
We're trading.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so
As I'm writing, like, is that my line or
that is totally gonna be my line for now. Because I tell you, like, I'm just saying, like, whenever people find out that I write, they're shocked. They're shocked
because they don't think you're very
romantic
romantic.
at all.
Well, you keep
At
it on the
all.
page, right?
I do. I don't even watch romantic movies for the most part. I'm like, are there explosions? Are there elves? Or are there like sword
There can be
fights? Are there
romance with that kind of stuff. There's
there and I love the romance in Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time, and I love that. But are people getting killed? That's
But are people getting killed?
magic, magic. So anyway, needless to say, he loved this exercise. He's like, oh yeah, we're revisiting this. Come on, get your pad and paper. Let's go. So yeah, this is right up his alley. And me, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Okay.
Mhm.
I got an evening.
I got it. For you, it was work because it was part of your homework to be on the podcast. For him, it's a couple's activity.
Right. He's like, woohoo, let's do it.
Well, tell him I said you're welcome.
Yeah, I know, he really is. Don't be surprised you got a cheesecake coming your way. Okay. So it went well though. It did. I got my feelings a little tapped sometimes, but it went well. It did, because there were some resolutions that I felt like were directed at me. But
so he didn't say you need to make this resolution. It's just you were reading into.
I was, and probably because I'm probably oversensitive because I know he's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sounds like you're projecting because he may be onto something and he's not saying it.
Yeah. I own that. I own that. Be like, I feel a little convicted over here.
Yeah.
So it went good though. It did.
So do you feel like you are prepared for the year?
I feel like I have plans going into the year.
Okay.
But I'm that person that historically, I'm that person by February who's like, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. And then suddenly I'm not remembering what I was supposed to do by March,
So you do usually make resolutions?
I like one or two, not like a whole list like we did, but maybe like one or two. And they're the usual ones, And the usual ones, in my opinion, just don't really get kept.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't make them because they're usual. You should make them because you actually want to achieve it.
I do want to achieve them. Like mine is, I want to lose some weight. I just want to get
some weight.
I want to get,
yeah. You aren't even committed enough.
I know, because I don't even
have a specific goal.
I don't even put a number. And then it's like, I just want to exercise. I don't say I'm going to join a gym. I don't say how I want to exercise. I just want to exercise. That's why it never lasts past.
Yeah. And so you've mentioned cheeseburgers and cheesecakes so far, but
like,
this is your exercise.
In this conversation. All in this conversation.
Right.
I think you know what I'm going to be doing after this podcast.
Yeah.
I also told you what
exercising, right?
Right.
Staring into your husband's eyes for 5 minutes.
Right. Thank God we didn't put that on the list.
But you would have to go through with it.
Yeah. That's
how many did you guys end up writing?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And you usually do 1 or 2?
I usually do 1 or 2, yeah.
So we did, is it 11 combined or 11 as a couple?
11 combined.
Okay.
Like with his, mine, and ours as a couple.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just like, it's a list, but I think it's a doable list.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you make the list together and you're working on it together, you're more likely to be accountable to it because this is for us. It's not just for you. Like, it's easy to not show up for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you are supposed to show up for someone else and you're expressing that commitment to working on this together, like it's just a little heavier and it means a little more.
Right. And especially because it's like the couple resolutions, like 'cause we're investing in each other, and they're doable resolutions, and they're not like something like something that's out of the ordinary of what we've done, of what something not totally new that we've never done before in life.
Hmm.
There are things that we've done before, but maybe haven't been as diligent about. And so we're just recommitting to doing them.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense. So you're not
yeah,
going outside of your comfort level, though it is okay to do that a little bit,
yeah. I
but
think the things
but
that
not
we
so far
chose
that you're not going to stick with it. You're going to like balk out at the last minute because I don't know if I want to
exactly.
do this.
Exactly. We're not
No, you
jumping out in
do.
any planes. That's right. We're not going.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not doing
Let's
anything
skydive
crazy.
together. Sounds great in theory, but no.
Right. We're not gonna do that.
How about I
Make
write a
us
book where the couple does that? Let's do that
yeah,
instead.
how about that? And I'll give him the name Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much more doable.
Did any of the tips, not tips, but any of the resolutions surprise you?
A couple of them did. Like I said, the ones that kind of tapped my soul did. Like, um, but none of them really like shocked me as in like
Mhm.
where did that come from? But a couple of them did like hit me kind of where it hurts as in like, okay, I might have been a little selfish and I'm on these things and I need to really consider you more, and look at us more as a couple and just instead of
Mhm.
myself. So I think in that aspect, yes.
Well, I have seen that he takes care of you out in the wild, like you could see that when you
Absolutely.
are the star and you are the flower going out in the world, he tends your garden. So this is
I
a way
love
that you can
that. I'm gonna steal
you
that. No wonder you're a writer.
don't you don't even know what it means to hear her saying this. I love her work. That's my giddy moment for the day. I'm good for the rest of the day. I can have negative things happening because I got a little boost from Naima.
But
But
you're
I
absolutely
mean that
right.
though.
That's
He
him.
he does take care of you. So maybe it's good that you're listening to what he's saying and putting on that list and you're thinking, "Hey, well maybe this is his way of communicating that he needs a little more here or here." And
Yes.
that you are open to it shows that you're willing to work on love as a verb, which is the whole point of this show.
Yes. And absolutely, that is the perfect way to put it. Because he's such a giver. He's like a servant. He just sows into people so much,
Mhm.
especially me and my career. Like it's nothing but a word. He's my cheerleader.
Mhm.
He's anything from, because like when I decided to be a full-time writer, or when I wanted to be and we talked about it, it's just like, okay, come on off the 9 to 5. We're gonna
Mhm.
do this. And he took up the slack because we were a, two-income family. But
Yeah.
he's like, come home.
It
We're
it
gonna
makes a
do it.
big
We're gonna
difference,
make it.
doesn't
It
it?
does. And it did. And he did. I mean, he just supported us until, I started getting into writing enough books where I could, really help in
Contribute.
that financially like
Mhm.
I used to with the job for the 9 to 5. And he's never complained. He's just a real he puts his money where his mouth is and he puts his faith where his mouth is in me.
Yeah.
So that I don't think I realized how rare that was until I came off the 9 to 5 and became a full-time writer. So you're absolutely right. He's just he's a great guy. And doing these resolutions just makes you just kind of hit home the fact I know it, but it kind of makes you grateful for who you have.
That's wonderful. Alright, do you know your love languages?
We did that so long ago, but I do know mine is, you will not be surprised at this. Mine is gifts. His his is affirmation. Like one of his is
Mhm.
affirmation. Um, what in
And it seems like he also gives love with acts of service.
He does works definitely, absolutely, and yeah, definitely. So yeah, but I
Take
forgot
the
those
test
love
again because
languages.
sometimes it
I
changes.
know. I haven't done that in years. Like since the last time we went on that couples retreat, I think is the last time we did that. And that was some maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. So it's been a
Okay, but
while.
what I'm hearing is you are continually doing things to work on your relationship and you have a wonderful one. So
Yeah,
there's a
I mean,
testament to that.
we've been married for 21 years now. So marriage is continually work. You have
Yes.
to continue to tend it, continue to, work. Cause I mean, your friends first. Like for us, like
Hmm.
I always tell people, ours was a real friends to lovers story. And so we had that basis of being friends first. And so out of everything, I know I can count on him to be my best friend. And so, but marriage it's work. You love the person and that's the base for it, and it's the foundation, but it is work. You got to continue to tend it.
So you brought up friends to lovers, and since you're a romance author, I have to ask, what's your favorite trope?
One of them is friends to lovers and enemies to lovers. I don't know what that says about me. And
You
a
like it
secret
both ways.
baby
There's
trope.
nothing wrong with that. The
I
secret baby trope?
absolutely I do. I do. Give me a good secret baby book, okay?
Yeah.
And if it's done well, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Do you have a recommendation for a good baby to lover or secret baby?
I'm like, what is a good secret baby book? I'm trying to think of a good Harlequin because they have some really, really good ones. I'm gonna email you and let you know because
Yeah,
I've
okay.
read some that are really good, like Secret Baby and like Unexpected Pregnancy. Like those are, I love those because they like bring the hero and the heroine together, whereas they might not have decided to be together in the first place, even though
Yeah.
they have this attraction, but their roads might have been different. But suddenly, their paths are colliding again, and it's this love of this
Yeah.
child that's bringing them together. And to see them come together over this child, it's like, oh, I just
Yeah,
love
I
it.
would like to know your list because I think it's tough to make that one work
And
because
you have to
why
have
weren't they together? And
exactly, and you have to have a very, like I said,
she has to have a good
it's
reason for not letting
tricky.
him know about that
That's why
baby.
That's why it has to be done well, because it's very tricky because the heroine has to have a very, very good reason to keep a baby from the hero.
Hmm.
Not just because you hurt my feelings and you rejected me, so now I'm pregnant and I'm not going to
Right.
tell you. Like there has to be a very good reason. And an author who does that well, like has my heart. Like and the book is phenomenal to me. And there's some books that like I've absolutely loved. They do it incredibly well. It's my catnip.
Ooh, meow.
And a surprise pregnancy, like, love those. Love, love, love. Love seeing the guy take care of the woman who's pregnant, and
Yeah. There's
like
something
just
very sexy about that.
yes, yes. Like if she's like she has morning sickness and he's like in there with her and he's going
Hmm.
to the doctor's with like love that. And second chance romance. Oh God, I love good second chance romance.
So have you written any of these?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite to write?
I love a good second chance romance. I love best friends to lovers. I love writing fake relationships and marriage of convenience.
Oh, you
I
just you write
absolutely
across the
love
board, don't
writing
you?
those. Yeah, like I love writing those, and you could probably tell when you go look at my book list. You could tell I love writing those because there's just something about like because inevitably the fake relationship is going to turn real, and I love when that happens. Like the
Mhm.
moment when they start looking at each other differently, and the plot turns, and their eyes are open to each other, and
Yeah,
they realize they can't do it without each other.
right.
It's ah, I just love it.
Are
And
you a
then
quick writer?
I don't people tell me I am. I don't feel like I am. Like I'm writing a book right now and I am in the last 6,000, and it feels like I have 50,000 to go.
Mm.
So I suppose so. I don't feel like it, but
Well, how many books did you put out this year?
8.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
by December it'll be 8.
Yeah, you're a quick writer.
But it's
I couldn't
traditional,
even
so
imagine putting out more than 2
well, there
books
were
in a year, and
novellas in there too. There were novellas in there too.
Okay,
And
still, that's
then
a lot.
but most of those books were written last year. So, and they're just coming out
That's
this year.
still you wrote them in 1 year, like, I
A year
am
and a half.
very I don't for one, I don't have any books out yet. I have a book on
Yes.
submission,
Yes.
but I'm not going to be prepared to have 7 more come out in the same year.
I don't know how that happened either, frankly. I don't.
Well,
And there were
you treat your craft like a job,
2.
that's how.
Yeah, and it like writing full time helps. And then of
Mhm.
course there were 2 novellas in there too. So, yeah,
And are you a pantser or a plotter?
plotter,
So
definitely.
I think that helps too because you already
Absolutely.
know what you're going to do before you sit down and start writing it.
I have to. Like the book I'm writing now,
Mhm.
I'm pantsing it and it's driving me nuts. And I didn't
That
plan
I was
on
gonna say
pantsing
that it
it.
sounded like you were pantsing because you were struggling with the last 6,000
I
words.
and the thing
Or
is, once I sat down and I was like, okay, this needs to happen in the last 15K.
Mhm.
Then my mind started like to relax because I have a roadmap. But
Yeah.
still, it's like I didn't plan on pantsing it, but that's how it ended up. And
Yeah.
I usually do not pants a book at all. I am a plotter, and this is so unusual for me. And I'm like, never again. Never again.
What have we learned, right?
Yes, you are a plotter, ma'am. Stay in your wheelhouse. Stop trying to be brand new in December.
In December. Do you ever do NaNoWriMo?
I used to. I like I like the first book I sold. No, not the first book I sold. The first book I sold to Entangled, like
Okay.
7 years ago, I think now. No, 6 years ago.
You've been with
Um,
Entangled for 7 years, wow.
yeah, because my first book came out with them in 2015, but I submitted with them the year before. And I was a book I wrote during NaNoWriMo. So I've done it before. I never finished the book.
Oh,
Like that book I
really?
did not finish, but I got a really, really good start on it.
Yeah.
And I ended up finishing it and selling, like cleaning it up, of course, doing a lot of work on it, of course, and then ended up selling it. So, but
And
yeah,
look at you
now I'm just
now.
like too busy to do it because I'm usually writing a book anyway during
Right, yeah,
NaNoWriMo.
you can't just stop everything you already have in progress.
Yeah.
You're busy building momentum.
Yeah, yeah. Shoot. Yeah, I can't do that.
How do you find the time to promote so many books in 1 year?
Yeah. You well, my releases were staggered
Mhm.
intentionally. So while I was writing a book, I was also promoting the book that was coming out.
I see.
So, and then the novellas that came out were like a month right before the next book, but the novellas were kind of like the marketing for the book that was coming out
I see. Oh,
several
so
weeks
it's
later.
all part of the plan.
Right. But for the other books, I was marketing while I was writing a book.
Sounds like your career is one for aspiring authors to just try to model.
Don't do like I do. Don't procrastinate.
Well,
But like that's an honor for you to say though. Because
it's
sometimes I
amazing
just
to
feel
put
like
out
I'm
and
nuts.
your work is good. You're not putting out 7 books that really didn't need to be out yet, you know?
Yeah, as ask my editor when she gets it.
You're keeping your editor employed. How about
Oh,
that?
I am. I am.
Look at it that way.
Like this book she's about to be like, woo.
Well, we are almost out of time. Do you have any final takeaways about the tip that you and your husband performed together?
I did like the couple tips. There's the one that I'll just say the one that kind of like tapped my soul had to do because like how we met in Las Vegas
Uh-huh.
was a business trip,
Right.
for me. And the resolution he made was for us as a couple was he wanted to do more trips next year that had nothing to do with business, just as a couple. That had, just straight personal as a
That
couple.
is a wonderful suggestion, and you found a you
I
found a negative in that.
because you like that's me. Because I
Right.
felt like but I thought we enjoyed our trips. Like I thought
And he
you
wants to
enjoyed
enjoy
them.
you.
Exactly. And here I was thinking, but these trips that's why I asked you to come because I want to spend time with you. Like
Right.
I thought we were
We can write
enjoying
these
them
trips
as a
off,
couple.
honey.
I was thinking that too, because he's like an accountant, right? So I'm like, but don't you see like the pleasure in writing these off? But he wants to do something that's totally unrelated to business of any kind. It
Yeah,
just
and that
makes
is
it.
romantic, especially as an
It
accountant.
is. Yeah, I know, right? Thinking about him. So I was like, gosh, okay, all right. But it's kind of I think he was thinking of me too because those trips aren't it's cool seeing different places
Yeah, but
and
it's
whatnot. It's work. And a lot of times with traveling and trying to get somewhere and be somewhere on time, having to worry about do I have everything that I'm supposed to have?
right. Are you prepared for your panels or any
All of
presentations
that.
that you're doing? Do I
It can
know
be
where I need to
stressful on
be?
me. Yes. It can be stressful on me, and then therefore it's stressful on him. And then
Mhm.
sometimes we forget to have fun. And so it's not only
And that's a
like for
pity if you're in
him.
Las Vegas, you know?
I know, I know. So I got that. After I like kind of took myself out of the equation, I
Yeah.
got that and I understood that. So like all in all, it stimulates conversation,
Yeah.
and aside from the ones you kind of expect, like as a couple, like we need to have more sex, that may come up. I was like, I was expecting that one. But it's like it stimulates conversations
I
for
recommend
other
Ashley
things.
Renard's How to Keep Monogamy Hot.
Oh, okay. Oh, look, he find me reading that. He's gonna be like, "Can we get the paperback? Can we get the audiobook? Can we get the book?"
I'll send you the link you need for that.
Do that. Do that. He's not even a big reader, but he's gonna become like a super
It's
reader
not it's
on
not
that
actually a
one.
book. It's just follow her on
Oh,
Instagram.
seriously? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, send it,
Like
please.
real
Yeah.
quick little snippets and
Oh, okay, yeah. He's gonna follow. He's gonna be like her master follow. He's gonna be like following her. He's gonna be hitting like this, like that.
right.
Then he's gonna be sending me the links. Like, make sure
Yeah.
you read this today. Read her post today.
But he's making it about both of you. That's great.
Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
Well, thank you very much for being so vulnerable and sharing the
Oh, no
resolutions that hit you
problem.
right in the
Yeah.
feels, man. Why don't you tell the audience where they can find you, what your social media is, and how they can best support you?
You can find me on Facebook at Naima Simone Author. And you can find me on Instagram at Naima Simone Author. And I'm on Twitter at Naima_author. And of course, my website, which is www.naimasimone.com. And my books page is out there. And if you want to support me, go to the books page and get the one clicking.
Do you have a recommendation for a starter book?
I tell people all the time, I'm a reader first. So,
Mhm.
but I'm also a mood reader.
Mhm.
So it really depends on what you're in the mood for. If you like really hot books, I have the Lick series or Sin and Ink. If you are into
Did you say the
millionaires,
Lick series?
the Lick series, and it is everything
Meow.
that it just just like marinate in that. Yes, it's
Yeah.
everything that it implies. And if
Sounds
you
like I have
like
some more books to buy.
that one is I
For
let my freak
research, of
flag fly.
course.
Right, right, right. I let my freak flag fly on that one.
Oh, excuse
Yeah,
me
I
while
did.
I We interrupt this broadcast to buy some books.
In the Lick series, it's Club Lick, and it's an aphrodisiac club. So there it is. Do what you will on that one.
You know how I know God loves me? He let me know about you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you everyone for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode at least half as much as I did. Please go out and buy some of her books. And until next time, remember to treat love as a verb.